misfortune! Celine! You're like a little vampire, sucking the life out of my paycheck. And you know what? I'm not paying any more. There'll be no more transfusions for you. Good night. As the angered man storms out of the hospital room, Vampire Blob, sensing his impending discovery, exercises his power to turn into any type of blood. Morphing into a puddle, he lingers on the floor outside of the room as the man impetuously storms past. Moments later, he yet remains at the door, and hears from inside the short sobs of a little girl. Stony and bristling with thorns as it is, Vampire Blob's heart is moved by the stifled and sickly sounds of the maiden's moaning. He reforms and heads inside, seeking to give what comfort he can. It is when he steps inside, his massive figure filling the doorway, that he remembers the fear which his horrible face instills in all who behold it. He is a harbinger of death, unfit to give comfort or to strengthen. And surely as the tide ebbs and flows in a chilly October night beneath the silvery rays of the moon, a look of terrible fear passes into the child's eyes, like the shock of an electric bolt. But it lingers only momentarily, and is replaced with a look first of resignation, then of comfort. "Have you come to bring me my death, then?" The girl's response to his presence takes aback the creature of horror. His reply, when finally it comes, is calculated.
"Why should I bring your death, my dear?"
"By reason of the consumption which plagues my insides, or the blood which is constantly needing replacement within me, or simply because I am an unloved child who is a burden to a hateful father, a girl who deserves neither life nor breath. So then, angel, bring forward this death. I am prepared for it, and I embrace it."
"Oh, my dear thing, I am a harbinger of death for some, but my heart inexplicably beats, dead flesh that it is, in sympathy with you. The warmth of love which fills me, bars me from imbibing your lifeblood, dear child, and therefore I ask you, I implore you, embrace not death, but rather embrace me!"
And with that, the great beast, terror of millions, takes in his arms the child Celine, embracing her as the object of a pure, unhateful love. And for the first time, the object of his love is filled with the same feeling, sensing that this being, this creature, is, like her, the victim of disdain and hate. And the two sit, wrapped in sympathy, on the girl's unkindly, uncomfortable hospital bed. But, of a sudden, the sound of a hand at the door interrupts their revelry. Turning his head, Vampire Blob immediately transforms into blood, and Celine is splashed with the sticky red substance. Splash! The door begins to open.
No, this will not do. It is not natural for a girl to be covered thusly in blood.
The door opens a bit further.
There must be somewhere for me to go, somewhere to hide.
Catching his eye in the light of the opening door, the ivy in Celine's arm glimmers.
Aha! In the form of blood, none shall notice me if I seclude myself in your body. What is your blood type, little girl?
A negative. Why?
A delicious, fantastic type.
The girl's question why is not answered. Before the girl can utter further syllables of questioning tones, before the door can fully open, Vampire Blob has poured his fully liquid form into the vein of the blushing girl.
"Celine, dear, it is I, Julia. Or have you forgotten your nurse? Why have you that odd look in your eyes?"
"Oh, I have just met the most marvellous fellow, and I suppose I am still a bit shocked. Besides you, he is the only decent person I've met in my entire stay at this hospital."
"Oh, my dearest, that can't be true. In 7 years you must have met some decent people."
"No, dear Julia, no. No one wishes to associate with a girl who has consumption. And my father is the worst. His hateful gaze is ever upon me, driving me ever further into the depths of despair."
"Oh, my dear, I am certain he does love you."
"No, he does not. His love is reserved for mammon and the flesh of older women. He saves no measure of it for me. Today I was told that I require yet another transfusion of blood. Father, calling me a vampire, stormed out of the room. I think he shall pay for no more transfusions."
"Oh, you poor dear, that makes 7.
"Yes, 7 transfusions to keep alive a worthless, bedridden child.
Oh, you poor thing. Here, allow me to embrace you. There, isn't that better?
Yes, you are like a mother to me in place of my own, and I do love you so. Your embrace gives me strength. In fact, I have felt stronger ever since you walked into the room.
And, my, you verily look stronger. I see the ruddiness of a strong youth pour into your face. Celine, I must call in the doctor. Perhaps you have no need of another transfusion after all.
Vampire Blob oozes out of the girl's pores, reforming into his solid self before the now alone Celine. Oh no! Now that you and your miracle blood have left me, shall I return to my sickness-riddled self?
May it never be so, my little dear. My power is such that I can become an infinite amount of blood. I have left plenty of healthy blood within you to sustain you.
Oh, thank you. Always I shall remember this, my friend.
Oh, it was nothing, my dear. Now, tell me about that beauticious nurse who was just here.
You mean Julia? She's been my only companion this whole time. When everyone else abandoned me, when there seemed no hope of survival for me, she nonetheless carried on as my friend, and always offered a warm hug when I needed it most. Through the most hopeless of times, she gave me hope.
Then she is truly a woman worthy of being my bride. I must!
But his thought is cut short, as in rushes the woman Julia herself. Julia stops and screams.
What is that thing?
Wait, Julia, calm yourself. This is the true maker of my new healthful condition. This is my savior, Vampire Blob.
You're what?
Let me explain. I can turn into any amount of blood, and any type, and therefore I was able to supply clean, immortal blood for Celine, so that she will never need another transfusion.
Why then, you've saved her life.
Yes, I suppose I have. I never expected something like this. To be a hero, a bringer of life instead of death.
If you've saved Celine, then you're not just our hero. You're my hero.
And with that, Julia embraces the tall, dark figure that is Vampire Blob. Taken aback, Vampire Blob considers for a moment, then finally returns the embrace. In that second, time seems to stop for them. Finally, Vampire Blob speaks.
You say that I am your hero, but I have only done what was easy with my natural abilities. You, on the other hand, stood by this girl when the world wanted to leave her to die. Without you, she would doubtlessly have slipped into despair. For that, Julia, you are my hero.
Suddenly, a thought strikes Julia's mind, the impact causing her to break the embrace.
Did you say you can turn into an infinite amount of blood?
Why, yes.
In any blood type?
Oh, of course. Why? Do you require a transfusion? I would gladly give you all the blood in my body.
Not I, Vampire Blob, but thousands of children around the world are in need of transfusions. Don't you see? With your power, with this amazing ability, you can save all those lives. You can be a hero, not just for me, but to the entire world.
Julia! My dear Julia! I care not for the accolades of this earth, but I, for some reason, some stirring in my heart, which I do not yet understand, do care about your wishes. If you ask it of me, I shall go around the world to heal all those whose sicknesses require a blood transfusion. I only ask of you one thing. Come with me! Let me carry you on my leathery wings as together we fight to save the world!
Oh, Vampire Blob, it would be the finest pleasure in the world for me to accompany you in such a task.
Oh, let us waste no more time! We must leave immediately! Every minute wasted is a life lost!
But, as he walks to the window with Julia's hand in his own, he turns back, looking longingly at his new friend, Celine.